Hello, Karin here on behalf of Makers Mercantile with the top 5 things to look for in today's newsletter. Item number 1, Whitby Yarn. So Whitby Yarn is a yarn that was developed specifically for us here at Makers Mercantile. It is a 47% bamboo, 37% superwash merino, and 16% nylon, all in a chain knit construction on a cute little cake that's 100 grams and has 144 yards to it. It knits up with the US 7 to 10 needle, depending on what kind of gauge you want, and it looks perfect, I think, at 4 to 5 stitches to the inch, although you can go all the way down to 3.5 and all the way up to 10 stitches to the inch. Whew, now that was a mouthful. Okay, so that gives you a little idea about what this yarn is. It comes in 8 beautiful colors that are all based on our Puget Sound here. This one here is called Sea Glass, and it has 4 different shades of teal and like a sea green type of color to it. This one is called Puget. This has 4 different shades of blue in it, so it's a tonal as well. This one here, what are we calling this one? Loganberry, there you go. And it has 4 different shades of pinky purpley tones. And then we have one more that is actually a tonal that's called Starfish. And this is the color of a lot of the starfish that we have here in the Puget Sound. And it has 4 different shades of the peachy tones. Then we have 2 that are quite natural. We have this one, which is a black that we call Pebble. It's sort of black and white because one of the yarns doesn't take the dye as much. That would be the bamboo. And then on this one is called Heron, which, if you're not familiar with herons, they're these really tall birds, and this is about the color that the herons are. And then we have a natural off-white color, which we call Driftwood. And we have a really wacky one that we simply call Island. So those are our 8 colors. They are all 20% off through Sunday night. And to add to that, we are going to be gifting you a sweater pattern as well. And we're going to be gifting you one of these great project bags that we have that are made by DellaQ. They have a zipper in them, and they hold a very, very large project. They're made out of a ripstop nylon, so they're quite durable. And that is going to be yours for free when you buy 7 hanks or more of the Whitby. So what can you do with 7 hanks? Well, anywhere between 6 and 15 hanks, depending on how large you go, you can make some really beautiful sweaters. And let me show you a few. First of all, right up here, this is the Weekender, if you don't recognize it, from Andrea Mowry. So this one is knit out of the Puget color, out of the blue. And just to give you an idea though, if you're thinking of knitting for a man, I do want to forewarn you, in this blue there's a little tiny tad bit of a purplish color that doesn't show up all that much, and men would probably never even see it, but when the light shines right on it, it just gives it a little bit of pinky tone. So just giving you a heads up on that. Then of course we have one that is the pinky tones. That's this one here, and this is the Brookings Pullover. This is from Marie Green of Olive Knits. If you look at this one real close, you can actually see you have the cables here in the front, and they are within, this multicolored pattern, and yet you can still see them. That's because, remember I was talking about stitch definition? This is the stitch definition that I'm referring to. It shows up really well, and it also has great drape. I mean, look at this drape. It is a beautiful, beautiful sweater weight. Maybe not warm enough for a lot of people in winter because it has a lot of bamboo in it versus wool, but it is great for summer sweaters. And I'm going to show you one more piece. I just want to show you how well you can see the actual stitch definition. Look at that there. It shows up great, and yet it has wonderful, wonderful drape. Now, I did say 3 sweaters, right? So our 3rd sweater, I don't actually have a pattern. I don't have the piece here, but I think Kyle will post a photo up there for you. And that is by Hohi Locatelli. I always have a hard time with her name, Hohi Locatelli, and it is called the Simple Summer Sweater, or Super Simple Summer Sweater. And the stripes that she are in this photo that we have up here, that was done by Jen. That is our Sea Glass and our Driftwood. That is that combination. So there you go, 20% off through Sunday night. You get your free project bag, you get your free pattern. Ooh, what else could you ask for? You want more things on sale? Okay, all right, we'll do it. But just in the month of April. See, we have been doing spring cleaning. We haven't had quite as many people in the shop over the last year, so we've been doing some spring cleaning. There's some things we just want to get rid of, and we want to move on. That way we can bring in more product. So one of those items is called the sew stack. This is a sew stack. Oops, I don't have them properly stacked at the moment. Sew stack, ta-da! It is actually made by a company called Noble Notions. You can see Noble Notions on the lid here. It is made out of a really, really durable type of rubber, latex free, and every single sew stack, there's I think 4 different ones that you can purchase, has a different purpose. This one, for instance, is for your sewing machine feet, and it has a special foam in it so you can put the feet in there. This one has special spikes in it so you can put your I was going to say yarn. You don't put your yarn in there. You're going to put your threads in there. Predominantly your spools, the spooled threads. This one holds bobbins great. So there's a whole bunch of different ones. And the nice thing, the reason they're called sew stacks is because they will all click into place. So when you put them on top of each other and you push down, they actually click into place and they, oops, that one didn't click. There we go. And they become one and they won't fall apart. And then when you're done clicking them all into place, you can click your lid on, and then you've got your lid too, and they're ready to travel with you. So if you're going to go to a class or something, I mean, I guess right now there's not a lot of classes, but when they do come back, it's a great, great accessory to have for traveling with your products, or just to keep them, you know, out of, you know, if you have great humidity or something, these would really help with that as well. So speaking of traveling, we have travel buttons. Look at these. These travel buttons, also house cleaning, 50% off. This one says, does this one say London? Nope, this one says Hollywood on it. There you go. There's Hollywood. And then this one says London. There you go. And this one, what does this one say? Golden Gate. And I believe there's about 8 others as well. They are all 50% off until they are gone. And then we have a fabulous fabric. It is only 35% off, but it's a really great deal. It is called Outback Wife, and it is a bark cloth. So this here is one of the beautiful prints that it comes in. This was a dress that we made out of it. We are out of this color, but you know, you could easily replace it with that color. How fun would that be? There's also 2 other floral prints. This is one of them. This is a very, very retro-y look, but I want to hold it up close so you can see the texture of the bark cloth. And if you are a sewist, you'll notice that these are 58, 59 inches wide, so they're super wide. Gives you a lot more fabric for your dollar. So those are 35% off also until they are gone. Then we have a couple of events coming up. This coming Thursday, which is April 1st, we have our weave-in, and that's being hosted by Cynthia Gerard. I have a hard time saying that name too. And then the following week on April 7th, we have Faina Goberstein, and she's going to be teaching a short row class. If you've never taken a short row class and you don't like short rows or you're scared of short rows, take this class from Faina. Short rows are the most wonderful thing in knitting. You can shape your necklines, you can shape the bottom of your pieces, you can do all your shaping within your piece without binding off and casting back on and everything else. Just use short rows, they work phenomenally well. So take this class from Faina if you haven't done it before, or you don't know short row, there's techniques or something, you know, there's so many different ways to do short rows. So if you're questioning like, oh, what's a German short row, Japanese short row, whatever, take the class. There's still space available. And then a couple of days later on April 9th, Kyle Kunicki is going to be teaching a class on, it's an introduction to color work. So there's another class going on, and then after that we have more classes. I'll probably mention a few more on Friday. I also want to mention that we have a new video up, and that was for all you people who took our chart class. Well, if you happen to miss it, how to read charts, Kyle has edited it and put it online for everybody to look at. I do believe that's it. I'm just looking at everything that I have here. I think that's it for today. We will see you again on Friday. In the meantime, stay safe. Oh, yeah, and that's it. Have a good week. Ciao.